Happening now, funding debate why a finalized project to help Jamestown seniors spruce up their homes is in need of additional money to keep it going. And Buffalo Bill Damar Hamlin returns to the Queen City a week after collapsing on the field during a cardiac arrest. Plus, we go back in time with a local Civil War reenactor.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, after a weekend of NFL tributes to salute Damar Hamlin, the Buffalo Bills player continues to make huge strides in his recovery. On Sunday, players and fans from coast to coast rallied around him, expressing their love and support by wearing his jersey, waving signs in the stands, and contributing to his toy drive. On Monday, he was transferred to a hospital in Buffalo where he'll continue to receive treatment. Here's what doctors had to say about his recovery.
Damar Hamlin has met a number of key milestones on his journey to recovery. I believe when Dr. Pritz and I last met, Damar was still intubated and on a ventilator. Obviously, since then, he has been extubated and has gone through a weaning of his oxygen. He has been up with physical therapy and occupational therapy, walking the unit, tolerating a regular diet, meeting with his family and many members of the care team that wanted to see how he was doing, all to get him to this point that he could be safely returned to Buffalo.
Now, doctors in Cincinnati say he'd been walking in his unit since Friday and eating a regular diet. A spokesperson at the Buffalo General Medical Center says they're going to continue to monitor Hamlin's progress and work with Thomas White, MD, the Buffalo Bills internist, and Buffalo Bills head trainer Nate Burks in his recovery. Wow, remarkable. Well, a 23-year-old Buffalo man will spend a half-decade behind bars after he was sentenced in connection with a strong-armed robbery here in Chautauqua County. The Chautauqua County District Attorney's Office announcing that Therese White was sentenced to 5 years in state prison, plus 5 years of post-release supervision on Monday. White previously pled guilty to felony robbery in October after he was accused of traveling to Chautauqua County under the guise of purchasing a vehicle listed for sale on Facebook Marketplace. However, prosecutors accused White and another participant of committing a strong-armed robbery while they assaulted the victim and then stole their vehicle. Well, the call for additional funding to a senior home improvement project in Jamestown is raising questions from some on the city's council. Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom now with the renewed debate on this effort. And Bronson, we're hearing this ask comes as a surprise to many on the lawmaking body.
That's right, Justin. Confusion surrounds Jamestown's Senior Citizen Home Improvement Program, which was believed to be funded in its entirety last year. However, now the effort is seeking an unbudgeted additional element.
302 applications were approved, totaling $1,878,000. However, only $1,005,000 was allocated. 54 applications have been completed. 15 are partially completed. Fortunately, some of those projects are under budget, so there may be funds coming back.
The project needs an additional $300,000 to continue into the new year. Lawmakers like Councilman Jeffrey Russell are questioning the reason behind this new ask.
We sat in this room on tape and we were told that if this was approved that the program would be fully funded. So now we're going back and we're telling the citizens, senior citizens, that, oh, sorry, we were wrong on our numbers. So I guess I'm asking, where were we wrong and who was wrong on these numbers? Because we're going to sit here now, we're all going to have egg on our face to the people that we're representing.
Originally allocated $500,000, the program was extremely popular, with City Council reallocating an additional $1 million from other programs last fall.
To take some from the 19A and then also take another fund from ARPA, which is what we did and what we voted on, with the understanding that it would be whole. So I guess I'm really at a disconnect as well.
Even if the program is given more funding, it still may not be enough.
And my email from Lisa states that there are still 63 projects left unfunded. So even though you're telling him it's 300,000, 63 projects is not 300,000. So I got a whole conglomerate of numbers that don't make sense.
Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist reassured council members that there has always been a need for the $1.8 million. The lawmaking body, however, feels there was a disconnect in the initial proposal for those behind the program. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Just days after a fire ripped through a condemned Jamestown home, local lawmakers are finally taking action to level the hazardous dwelling. As we previously reported, neighbors have been frustrated for quite some time now that the building was a safety hazard commonly occupied by vagrants. Councilmember Marie Karuba says that the structure located at 343 Fairmount Avenue was already on the demolition list but is now being moved up.
302 applications were approved, totaling $1,878,000. However, only $1,005,000 was allocated. 54 applications have been completed. 15 are partially completed. Fortunately, some of those projects are under budget, so there may be funds coming back.
The project
Don't know about insurance on that one, but fortunately the asbestos abatement had already been completed, so at least as far as the disposal of the property, what's left will not be as expensive as it would be otherwise.
The fire is still being investigated, but the Jamestown Fire Department believes the flames originated on the first floor. As of now, the cause has been deemed suspicious. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us live now from brand new rearranged First Defense Weather Center today. Hello, Andrew.
If you remember, before we had all the computers facing behind me on this back row, and now we got the computers going this way, and I don't even have to move my chair. I can just swivel around and don't even have to move anywhere. I like it.
I love it. 360 Andrew right there.
All right, from the chair in my weather office to what's going on outside, a live look from the Mill Creek Sky Cam in Erie, Pennsylvania shows the sunshine out there, and the traffic moving freely out there. Don't you like it? The sunshine finally came out after all these clouds that we are dealing with. First Defense Doppler radar does show you those clouds mainly across northern portions of the area, but here across the deep southern tier, northwestern Pennsylvania, the sun has came out, but it looks like the clouds are going to be building back in later this afternoon. The high yesterday was 33 degrees. That's also the average. 33 degrees. The record high for today was 57, set back in 1935, and the record low was -13, set back in 2004. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, a mix of clouds, sunshine. Temperatures will range from the lower 30s to the mid to upper 30s with a southwest to northwest wind of 5 miles per hour. So get outside and enjoy that partial sunshine, because by the end of the week, the rain and some snow will return, and I'll have those details coming up in just a few minutes, Justin.
All right, Andrew, thank you. As we continue, will gas prices be falling or rising this January? Look at what AAA has to say. And later, the Republican rescue plan for New York State. What are local senators pushing this new year? Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Blood and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWias Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWias Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWias Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Gas prices are as up and down as the temperatures this winter, but at least this week it's working out in our favor at the pumps. According to AAA, the national average price rose daily starting on Christmas Eve due to the holiday travel and freezing temperatures. But that surge seems to be ending. Tuesday in Chautauqua County, residents see an average price at the pump of $3.62, which is lower than 3 weeks ago when Chautauqua County's average was $3.69 and Cattaraugus County's was at $3.63 a gallon. A spokesperson for AAA believes that as we head towards February, pump prices will likely dip even further. However, it's likely that the national average prices we saw heading into Christmas may have been the lows for the winter. Well, on Monday, the New York State Senate Republican Conference announced its plan to bring much-needed aid to New York State in 2023. The Rescue New York 2023 legislative agenda is a compromise plan to improve public safety, ease the financial burden on middle-class families and small business owners, and restore the quality of life to communities throughout New York State.
Whether it's making New York safer, whether it's making New York more affordable, whether it's making New York stronger, or whether it's making New York more free, this conference will stand up for New Yorkers on each one of those issues.
Now, Senator George Borrello, who represents Chautauqua County in the state's 57th Senate District, was among the Republican lawmakers that spoke out in a need for this expansive relief plan. In a statement, Borrello tells us that New York State has never needed a rescue more than it does right now. He says the state needs to lower the exorbitant cost of living, restore sanity, he said, to the criminal justice policies, and move our business climate from hostile to helpful. And this rescue plan needs to be enacted before it's too late. Now, later Tuesday, New York's Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul is slated to outline her priorities for 2023 in New York State's State of the State address. Well, legislative session in Albany continues this week. On Monday, advocates rallied inside of the Capitol asking Governor Hochul to withdraw her recent nomination of Chief Judge for the Court of Appeals. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein is breaking down the debate over the nomination and talking to lawmakers about what happens next.
No to LaSalle!
No to LaSalle!
On December 22nd, about a week before she took oath of office, Governor Kathy Hochul nominated Hector LaSalle to lead the state's Court of Appeals. Today, advocates and some lawmakers rally inside the Capitol, continuing to urge Governor Hochul to withdraw her nomination. Some advocates say he's too anti-abortion.
Now more than ever, it is critical that New York courts serve as a bulwark against the further erosion of pregnant people's rights, liberty, and autonomy. Justice LaSalle's record demonstrates he is the wrong choice to lead New York's highest court.
Some advocates also say he's too anti-union.
And so this really is an extremely important moment, for us here, for all New Yorkers, to make sure that we have a court that's actually going to work for everybody.
Wright adds that the Court of Appeals has historically been in favor of corporations over employees. Some lawmakers say that confirming LaSalle as a chief judge would solidify a 4-justice conservative majority for New York's Court of Appeals until 2030.
If this nomination is in fact brought to the floor for a vote, I will absolutely be voting no. And I want to urge my colleagues to join me in rejecting this nomination.
And Salazar is not alone. So far, 14 senators have announced their opposition to LaSalle's nomination. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. On Friday, Governor Tom Wolf in Pennsylvania called a special session for the General Assembly there to consider a constitutional amendment for victims of childhood sex abuse to sue their abuser. This special session took place on Monday, but lawmakers failed to consider the proposed amendment. The amendment would provide a statutory 2-year window for victims to file a civil lawsuit. It's been a top priority for some lawmakers, including the recently elected Speaker of the House, Mark Rozzi. After producing no tangible results in the special session, Rozzi said partisan politics must take a back seat to victims of childhood sexual abuse.
This sort of partisan divide is what has plagued Pennsylvania politics for far too long. In an effort to move things forward and to get Democrats and Republicans talking again, I am creating a work group of 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats of varied interests from across the Commonwealth to sit down and find a way forward.
Lawmakers only have until the first week of February to pass the amendment in order for it to appear on the ballot in May. It would be up for Pennsylvania voters to decide during the primary. Well, coming up, we're explaining a new proposition to lower student loan payments for millions of borrowers. And later, we're remembering a Civil War hero who helped win the Battle of Gettysburg, his connection to our region. But first, when we come back, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down
And move over.
when you need help
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down.
And move over.
move over.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now at noon. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we have some sunshine peeking through those clouds. The temperature was 32 degrees at the Jamestown Airport as of the noon hour, with a southwest wind of 6 miles per hour, and that gives us a wind chill feel-like temperature of 26 degrees. We are finally into the 5 o'clock hour for sunsets. Tonight, the sunset was set at 5:04 p.m., and as we go through the rest of the week, and by this time next week, we'll gain a whole 10 minutes of daylight. And as we go through the rest of the winter, daylight will continue to increase, so we all like that extra daylight. I like the extra sunlight too. So here's what's happening across the Northeast. We do have a weak cold front that's sagging across the area. Not much moisture is associated with it. In fact, nothing really associated with it, just a few clouds. There is some snow and light rain showers off to our southwest. That's not going to make it into the area, I don't think, for the rest of the afternoon. It's just going to be mainly dry out there. Future scan will show those clouds for the rest of the afternoon and shows you a few snow showers across northwestern Pennsylvania. I really don't think it's going to happen. That little disturbance doesn't have much moisture with it. For the rest of the night, mostly cloudy skies to the rest of the night, and we're going to copy today's weather and paste it into the tomorrow, because tomorrow will be another partly to mostly cloudy day. Now, Future Scan is trying to show a few snow showers tomorrow afternoon. I don't think that's going to happen. But as we head into Thursday, that's our next storm system. That's going to bring some rain showers into the area for Thursday. And then as we head into Friday, it's going to turn over to snow with minor accumulations possible. So for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overall quiet weather night. Low temperatures will drop. Low temperatures will be in the upper 20s to lower 30s across the region with a light southwest wind. And now the next 7 days from Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Again, tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun. We should warm up into the upper 30s tomorrow. On Thursday, we'll be on the warm side of this system that's going to be moving up into the area with temperatures in the lower 40s and some rain throughout the day. That rain is going to switch over to some snow showers on Friday. Minor accumulations are possible, but it's far too early to know how much snow we're going to get. And then some lake effect snow, weak lake effect snow, sets up into the weekend for Saturday. Temperatures in the upper 20s, and then the rest of the weekend is looking fairly dry out there, and we warm up again as we head into next week, Justin.
Ooh, that 10 minutes of daylight, great news for so many. Andrew, thank you. Well, here's some headlines now from around the nation. And the Department of Education is proposing lower student loan payments for millions of people. It's part of the Biden administration's plan to change the existing income-driven repayment program. The proposed rule could reduce payments to 40 cents per dollar, saving borrowers some $1,000 a year. It would also pause payments for anyone making less than $30,000 a year. In addition, there would no longer be a charge for unpaid monthly interest. Smaller loans would be forgiven after 10 years of payment. The administration is now seeking feedback from the public. A final rule could be released this year. Well, an investigation is underway after several classified documents from President Joe Biden's time as vice president were recently discovered last fall in a private Washington, D.C. office Biden used while he was serving as an honorary professor for the University of Pennsylvania. John Lawrence reports.
Any comment on the documents, sir? President Joe Biden didn't respond to questions about the classified documents unearthed in an office at the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement used by Biden when he was an honorary professor from 2017 to 2019.
We'll wait to see the facts, but, classified information needs to be in secure spaces.
A source told CNN fewer than a dozen documents were found when the office was packed up last fall, and lawyers for the president say they have since been handed over to the National Archives.
Well, the idea that they're floating around out there, Democrat or Republican, the idea that these type of documents are out there in the public isn't good for America as a whole or our intelligence community.
The Department of Justice is looking into the matter, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is staying tight-lipped about whether the new GOP Congress should investigate Biden. Jamie Raskin, the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, issued a statement saying the Biden legal team took immediate and proper action. But some Republicans say the probe into the classified documents found at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate was handled differently.
Why was there a raid on Mar-a-Lago, but now this story just kind of seeps out and everybody's saying, oh, we just want to get down to the bottom of it, and everybody's giving the benefit of the doubt?
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. Former President Trump commented on the situation, posting on his Truth Social platform, when it is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House. The documents were definitely not declassified. Well, for the first time in 15 years, there are new guidelines for treating children with obesity. The American Academy of Pediatrics published updated guidelines Monday in the journal Pediatrics. The AAP says the goal is to help families make changes to a more sustainable lifestyle with the focus on behavior. For children as young as 2, that means nutrition support and increased physical activity. For teens, that could also include medication and possibly even surgery. According to the Academy, more than 14 million children and teens are considered to be obese. The condition puts them at higher risk for multiple health issues, including sleep apnea, asthma, bone and joint problems, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. The new guidelines do not discuss obesity prevention, and the AAP says that will be addressed in another policy statement to come. Well, coming up next, a Corey, Pennsylvania man keeping the Civil War hero's legacy alive.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
This year's theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, focuses on the importance of knowing your way out of a home or business in the event that a fire were to break out.
The Hullo Summer Festival in downtown Jamestown, and as you mentioned, the whole goal of this is to connect Jamestown's kids with things to do over the summer.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
2023 marks the 160th year of the Battle of Gettysburg and the death of Colonel Strong Vincent. The passing of time may make people unaware of Vincent's contribution to the Union victory. However, a man from Corry, PA is keeping his legacy alive. Erie News Now's John Last tells us his story in his featured segment, The Last Word.
Northwestern Pennsylvania was home to so many fascinating figures in U.S. history, including Colonel Strong Vincent. Wouldn't it be great to go back in time and talk to guys like him?
That is not possible, but Tom Hansen provides the next best thing. He dresses up like Vincent for educational and special events. He knows practically everything about the Civil War hero from Erie County. He makes it a point to look like the Colonel, right down to the Civil War mutton chops.
Yes, I've actually been asked by kids, are those real? And I pull on them and I go, yes, they are. And they go, wow. I've had reenactors ask me, how long does it take you to grow that? And I was like, a couple months.
Tom became a Civil War reenactor around the year 2003. He also spoke to groups about the Civil War and spent much of those presentations focused on Strong Vincent. Local Civil War buffs eventually told him to become Strong Vincent.
A friend goes, you know, nobody portrays him quite right or has the look. You have the look, we just need to get it more in the uniform and everything.
Thanks to Tom, I sit in the Heritage Room of the Blasco Library, envisioning myself in a conversation with the famous Colonel. We're surrounded by pictures of Strong Vincent, his Gettysburg Monument, and other memorabilia. I have to ask the Colonel, what was it like at Little Round Top with Confederate troops closing in?
You hear the screams, you see the smoke of all the guns going off, you smell the acrid smell of all this black powder going off. You hear cries of soldiers being wounded.
Vincent broke the chain of command at Gettysburg and took it upon himself to organize the various Union regiments to retain that hill. Vincent was then wounded by a bullet that entered both his legs. He died 5 days later. I have to ask, Colonel, what's it like to be a Civil War legend?
I just knew that if I lived, if I died, I was doing my duty for the country. The country came first to me.
With the last word at the Blasco Library with Colonel Strong Vincent, John Last, Erie News Now.
All right, John, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And what a cool piece of history, and I think connection to our area, right? A lot of people might not know that he had such a great contribution to what was one of the toughest battles of the Civil War, and I believe farthest northern battle of the Civil War as well. So it's really awesome to see, and you think about all that time ago, all those decades ago, his impact, and like so many people from across our area would just turn out and support, and even Jamestown, right, had a ton of Civil War veterans, even all the way back to Governor Reuben Fenton as well. Well, that is it for us today. We'll leave you with this live shot over Chautauqua Lake. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow, live at noon.